I forgot to show proof while I was recording, so I'm gonna have to come back and do it the old-fashioned way. Here's proof. I'm still not editing this out, and you still have to watch through it if you decide to watch. Why, you may ask? Because I'm lazy. Uh, Yo, my. Alright, let's get into it, guys. Today I'm gonna be showing you how I made $800 today on my combine trading NQ, aka the Nasdaq. I caught 42 points today, just a regular one-to-one. I'm gonna be showing you why I took this trade and what was going through my head while I was trading, because it was honestly a pretty choppy day. Like outside of this, like the beginning of the markets were super chopped, straight barcodes. So I'm like, all right, if I get stopped out, I'm just done for the day. I was only risking 800, obviously because it's just one trade. I'm in a 1 hour trade. Usually I would take like a one-on-one, but it's just I was giving it what it took. I was taking what market was giving me, and I'm gonna get into a little bit more, but I do want to start off why I took this trade. So okay, coming into the markets today. Let me go to the select bar so I can just go back so you guys can see what I was saying. So coming to the markets today, I always check the 15 minute, and on the 15 minute you can see here. I'm gonna get into this later, but on the 15 minute you can see here we're in a clear bearish, bearish. Um, I can't think right now. We're in obvious bearish price action. We're having bearish price action. We're having bearish market structure. It's super bearish. 5 minute, again, we're bearish. So I'm like, all right, my bias is already shifting towards shorts a little bit. But what really made me want to go short is that I saw we were up here. We just pretty much just took out all these relative equal highs. So I'm like, all right, I know that happens. And by the way, I don't really want to go too deep into my strategy. I don't really want to give up my strategy to yet. For one, I'm still a very small YouTuber. For two, I just don't want to. It's just not something I want to do. So everybody's gonna make. Well, some people who are like experienced traders or like whose trader strategies revolve around like more things. This what I'm gonna sound like is basically not gonna be. It's just basically just I'm basically kind of compressing it basically, but buy side liquidity got swept. And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wait for my entry. I got my entry right here. This is my shorting entry, and I'm like, all right, cool. Let's just let the trade play out. Obviously, I don't close my trades or whatever, but why did I hold this trade after sell side liquidity got swept? Well, it didn't get swept yet, but it's gonna get swept. And this is like the only isolated low in the 1 minute, so I would expect there to be a reaction off that typically. But since we pretty much sold to hell right here, and there's a lot of low, there's a sessional low, and then if you check the 15 minute, there's a whole lot of unfilled imbalances right there. And if you know what imbalances are basically they work as magnets, so they pull and repel. So I'm like, all right, we're already in a short trend. I know these are high chance that some of these imbalances are gonna get filled. I'm gonna target a lower low, and that's exactly what I did. I had my TP targeted right here, a little bit below this low. And this is kind of like a low hanging fruit. And yes, I could have targeted more, but I'm keen on taking my own advice, just targeting low hanging fruits, just catching what you can. Um, well, that's something I could have caught, but the reason why I target low hanging fruits, well, low lows, then I know it's gonna get hit. Well, then I think it's gonna get hit. It's simply just because I'm more of like I want to stay consistent. Um, some people might not understand that, but it's just kind of a little bit. I would say not personal, but I don't know. I just don't want to risk. I don't want to risk it reversing and switching to an uptrend. So I just like taking my profits just so I can take my profits. Yeah, little yapping spree there. But as that happened, I put my SL in the middle of this imbalance. I just went over how imbalances work, so that's why I did that. If you're paying attention, and then my TP got fucking sniped right here, like a little bit ago. My TP got sniped. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm done for the day. And as usual, I go over why I took these trades. I just explained this, but I'll read it out. I said, now usually I would target a different slash closer low because there is a low here. I think we have a chance of reacting off of, but since we sold to hell and market open, I kind of have to target lower lows. So that's what I'm doing. Yep, and that's pretty much what I just explained. I took this short because the 15 minute we are in a clear downtrend. Also, yesterday left a lot of an unfilled imbalance that dragged PA down. That is dragging PA down. The main reason I took this short is because we saw up high value buy side liquidity off rip, formed my entry. Um, it was a it was a close one because I'm risking the max I allow myself to. Anymore, I wouldn't have took this trade. So anything over 40 points, I just don't risk. I don't like desizing down the micros just because I prefer minis a lot more. I prefer either knowing if I'm right or if I'm wrong than then removing contract size, removing cons that you usually do when you're trading micros. I just don't like that. It's just I just don't. I prefer to trade minis a lot more. So like that brings me to saying anything over 40 points I don't trade because it's typically over half the account size, which is 1,000, and I just don't trade it. I just don't trade anything over 40 points. So and then I went over here and said bar 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 bar. If you know, you know. And then TP hit plus 800 for the day. I just need 1,200 more. Yes, I could have targeted more for the day, but I'm gonna keep. But I'm keen on taking my own advice. And by the way, I typed this like right when I was in the morning. Hence, I did this. And I'm not editing that out either. But yeah, that's pretty much why I took this trade. Tomorrow's Friday, and Fridays really haven't been too good this month or last month, and there's no news on Friday. So I'm not expecting anything crazy from tomorrow's Friday. We might have some chop, we might have some clear price action. It's really unknown. But I'm only taking one trade regardless of the outcome. Hopefully, I can make that 1,200 and pass. But if not, I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna try to target. I'm not gonna try to target anything else than what I do. But if I do make that 1,200, I'll go into depth of how I get payouts, which is I usually just target a set amount, and then I get my payouts that way. But yeah, make sure to like the video, subscribe. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. If you took longs today, well, longs played out too, but if you took an L today for some reason, hopefully you learned from this. And I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, I'm not editing this out, so enjoy my OBS.